We're particularly excited about this opportunity to feed into conversations with Council around what the artists and people interested in a rich and vibrant cultural community need.
One way of being able to ensure that we've got the vibrancy of the Greater Inner West into the future is to ensure that we have economic policies to safeguard people that are being forced out of the area because of high rents, for not just for artists, for families, elderly, for different members of our community.
For me, today was about thinking about the diversity of the area and how that can be fostered and maintained into the future, because I feel like the diversity is what makes it such a vibrant, fantastic place to live and to work and to eat and shop. And if Council can listen to the different voices, that's a really great starting point for implementing some of these big picture changes that we talked about today.
So in the last few years, a lot of our activities have been based in Tempe at this disused sports club, which we've been able to, a number of organisations have been able to rent out quite affordably.
Yeah.
And for us, it's just really fostered an amazing scene, and it's given kind of a home to a whole bunch of people to pursue their creative ideas. I think one thing about a lot of the arts and creative spaces that exist currently and that tend to come about is that they're often really reliant on people being able to really talk the talk, write their applications and convince people that, and those are the people that tend to get spaces. The rock band that they haven't been to art school, they just want to play some music, those kind of people don't tend to get the spaces, and those sort of people tend to miss out. So yeah, I guess that's also what I would think of as being accessible. Yeah, accessible to everyone, not just the people who can write it.
The visions that people put forward of this place where the art spaces were both allowed to exist, but people could then kind of leave the suburb and come back and maintain those connections. People spoke about setting up art spaces in kind of regional areas or down Tasmania and being able to maintain connections.
When I'm talking to people about this feedback to council time, I'm realising that people don't realise they can call up their councils or approach their councils to be specific about the kinds of things that they need. So one of the things I definitely wanted to make a point of is in any way for councillors and councils to make themselves more approachable, perhaps to develop formal mentorship programs for organisers and people involved in the arts in your community, in our community, would be a great in for people to realise how they can participate in the arts and in civic democracy, in local issues and local solutions.
One of the really exciting things that came from this conversation for me is this idea that Council can, as the most local and available and connected arm of government to community, facilitate these conversations around how your community is created, what its sense of identity is.
What you have with an arts community are often people who are, maybe more so than any other sector or industry, are people who work across industries, because we have to. Most of us are unable to make a living from purely art, so we also teach. We work in hospitality, we design, we consult, we are in childcare, where there were people here today who are nurses. The arts community is a ready-made, multi-skilled and improvisational community that puts those conversations above profit most of the time, and therefore by accessing conversations with the arts on a regular basis, you're accessing all of these other fields.
And exploring really creative ways to engage the community in the development of policy. There's a great opportunity there. whether it's through a strategic reference group or some other mechanism for council to engage creatives more broadly, be they artists or designers or whoever it happens to be, in like, really important community conversations.